That is it for opening ceremonies, ladies and gentlemen. They're giving 1 lap to check out the racetrack. They call it a sighting lap, and then we are going racing here in Black Hills Speedway. Heat race number 1 is out there on the racetrack. It's the GNC2 class. GNC2 class getting 1 lap to check out the racetrack. The riders in this race look like this. On the pole setter, the 67M Dashin Davis Fisher. 54Z is Michael Inderbitzen. 14A is Dalton Gauthier. 27U Jamison Miner. 44E Nick Armstrong. 16S Tristan Avery, that's your front row. 72F Tyler Butts. 20J is Ben Lau. 23Z James Monaco. 36B Colby Carlisle. 19B Justin Jones. 99A is Kyle McGrain, that is row number 2. On the 3rd row, ladies and gentlemen, 10L Mac McGrew. 56Z Damon Coca. 63M Dan Louther, and the 22L Hunter Even. This is heat race number 1 of the GNC2 class. We'll take the top 7 riders directly to the main event.
And interesting enough, here in this heat race, our top 3 in points in the GNC2 class. Davis Fisher, point leader. Nick Armstrong, 6 points behind in 2nd. And Jamison Miner, the 27U, 8 points back in 3rd. Loaded, stacked heat race here for GNC2. Could have championship implications if anybody goes to the 2nd row.
And remember, only the top 7 riders go directly to the main event. Everybody else comes back in one last chance qualifier. Here we go. We're going racing here in Rapid City, South Dakota. 75th Sturgis Rally. It's Dalton Gauthier pulling the hose shot. The 14A will lead him into turn number 1.
And Dalton Gauthier loves these Blue Groove racetracks. This kid grew up in the eastern part of the U.S. He's had some pretty good finishes this year. Hasn't quite gone to the podium as Davis Fisher runs up around the outside, gets up in a little bit of the moisture. They put water down on the racetrack after practice, and Davis Fisher is testing it out immediately and going, all right, what kind of grip levels do we have up here? He's going to the front in a hurry.
As we walked across the track, Chris, it felt like it's a little bit slick, but didn't seem to slow Davis Fisher down. It's Fisher out front, Gauthier in 2nd. Now the 54 moves up to the 3rd spot. That's Michael Inderbitzen, the California rider. A new rider drops into the inside in the 4th spot, possibly Nick Armstrong coming towards the front.
Yeah, you know, these guys, looks like Fisher right off the bat, you know, might have made an adjustment for this type of racetrack to run this far up compared to where you were in qualifying. A lap time 22.6.
Wow.
A full 2nd quicker than it was in qualifying. Totally different racetrack.
And faster than the GNC1 class.
And faster than GNC1. This racetrack picked up some speed in a hurry.
We'll see who's paying attention up there in the pit area. The pits are way up high outside turn number 4. They got to make some changes to their bikes to get ready for tonight's track changing conditions. Every time they get on track, it's going to be different for a little while. Your leaders pulling away. It's Davis Fisher 2nd, Dalton Gauthier, good solid run. Inderbitzen in 3rd. Tristan Avery now is up to the 4th spot. Miner's in 5th. Armstrong's going backwards. He's back to 6th.
Yeah, these guys are faced with a totally different racetrack. If they stood pat with their setup from qualifying, they're going to go backwards, or they're just not going to go forward. In the case of Davis Fisher, he must have made a huge adjustment because he's checking out on these kids right now.
Halfway flags were just displayed to the field last time by the start-finish line from our flagman Rick Tibbetts, and Fisher is now way out front. Last time by is by 1.04 seconds. And it looks a lot bigger than that this time. Fisher pulling away, Gauthier in 2nd, Inderbitz in 3rd, and behind there it's a heck of a race between Avery, Miner, Armstrong, and now Kyle McGrain in his first pro race is up to 7th.
Yeah, Kyle McGrain in transfer position bodes well for him. First ever GNC2 event here tonight, starting off real strong.
So good battle from 2nd on back as Fisher's kind of stinking up the joint. He is checked out last time by his 1.4 seconds. His last lap, 22.558. That was the best lap of the night and fastest lap so far here in Rapid City.
Yeah, kid's checked out up front. You know, he's been running at the front of these races all year long. He's been in contention to win nearly every week. And know he's a good TT rider. He continues this type of dominating performance, we might be looking at our champion here in a couple weeks.
White flag is out. 1 more half mile to go for the field. It's Fisher out front, Gauthier in 2nd. Remember, top 7 riders go directly to the main. That's going to be the best battles from 2nd on back as Davis Fisher's ahead by the full back straightaway now. Down into turn number 3 they go. Fisher, what a clinic he just put on.
Yeah, I think he just showed a whole pit area full of GNC1 guys where they need to be riding when they get their twins out here in a little bit.
Checkered flag is out. A few riders struggling coming across the finish line. We'll give you a rundown in just a second, but What a great race. What a great way to start off the 75th Sturgis Rally here at Rapid City. Your winner, Dashin Davis Fisher. Second will be Dalton Gauthier, the 14A. Third is Michael Inderbitson, the 54Z. 44E, Nick Armstrong worked his way back up to fourth. Avery, that's Tristan Avery, will get fifth. Sixth is James Monaco. And the Flying Tomato gets up there and takes that seventh spot away. So McGrain, Justin Jones, Ben Lau, Tyler Butts, Lowther, Even, Mac McGrew, Damon Coca, and Jamison Minor are all headed to a last chance qualifier. So
third place in points. Minor having some difficulties out at 2 laps down. A tough break for him. Hopefully he can get things turned around for later.
So Davis Fisher put it on everybody out there. Give him just a second. Take off his beautiful helmet. We'll go down to the third member of our team. Danny Medine has caught up with our heat race winner. Let's go trackside.
All right, thanks you guys. Race fans, make some noise for Davis Fisher. That had to have felt pretty good. They said that you were 1 second faster than it was in GNC1 class. What is it going to take for you to hold on to this and take the win here tonight?
I mean, I'm just hoping my line stays there and stay consistent. Just remember that it was dry in qualifying, and the water they put on made the groove a little slick, so I moved up, and it seemed to work pretty good.
Now, do you have some sponsors that you would like to thank?
Yeah, I thank Parks & Brothers Racing, Bob Lanfear's Beaverton Honda, Danwell Racing, Race Tech Suspension, The Fox, my dad for everything he does, and Fly Racing, my Uncle Ryan, and everyone else for coming out, and Terry Reimer for putting on this race.
You're going on to the main event. Good luck. We got one more heat of GNC2 up next. Scotty and Chris, back to you guys.
Thanks a lot, Danny. A good performance by Davis Fisher. That's why he's our points leader right there. Up next, heat race number 2, GNC2 class. On the pole, 24F from Bucyrus, Ohio, it's J.R. Addison. 24J, Brandon Wilhelm. 94B, Flying Ryan Wells. 17Y's Cole Crowley. Good qualifying effort from him. 16M, Austin Helmholtz. 54A's Dan Bromley. That is your front row. Row number 2, the 11Z, Andrew Luker. 12Y, John Vanderland. 30Z, Bronson Bauman. 35L is another female rider racing with us, Charlotte Keynes. 31G, Dylan Bell. 93F, Hunter Edwards. Now we'll go back to row number 3 from Australia, the 81P, Jace Castles. 93Z, Bo Thompson. 18L, Justice Lund from Lenox, South Dakota. And the 55L, Cole King was our last qualifier. We took fastest 32 riders into tonight's heat races. It's time for heat race number 2. Are you ready?
I am ready. It'd be interesting to see if these guys are ready to go to the upper half of the racetrack like Davis Fisher did in Heat 1. That was a good lesson for every racer on the racetrack. The kid showed the speed. Lap times were a full second quicker. And see if these guys learned it.
These bikes were sitting down there in staging. They couldn't make any changes by the time they saw that, so hopefully they made the correct changes to their motorcycles if they weren't set up perfectly in qualifying. Here we go, heat race number 2, GNC2 class top 7 will go directly to the main event, and they are off. The front wheels come up, but it's Wells will lead him into the first corner. He's going to bring Crowley with him on the 17 bike. Bromley goes to the high side.
Bromley did the high side, didn't qualify all that well. But I know that kid likes running the higher part of the racetrack. We'll see if he can make it work a la Davis Fisher. He's sitting fourth in points. He knows he needs to move forward as he goes all the way around the outside. Looks like he's taking the lead down the front stretch.
Lap number 1 goes in the books. Here we go. GNC2 heat race into turn number 1 they go. It is Bromley on the KTM, goes to the point. Bromley leads him off at 2. He's got a Honda chasing him. Right behind him, Wells is right there on the 94B. And here comes the 31. 31 came from the row number 2. That's Dylan Bell. Must have got it through turns 1 and 2 very well. He's a good groove track racer, and he's made his way up towards the front in a hurry.
As Wells tries to track back down our leader, runs up the inside. Can't quite carry as much momentum through the middle of the turn. See if he can get it hooked up coming off the corner. Gets a good drive up the inside. They're side by side, headed off toward 3. Wells into the lead.
Wells goes to the lead. Now that slides Bromley back to second. Third spot is Brandon Wilhelm, former Daytona short track winner. Dylan Bell still in the 4th spot. Crowley, Bronson Bauman, and J.R. Addison in the 7th spot as they run.
Well, we see the lap times for this heat race right now, about a half a second a lap slower than Davis Fisher in Heat 1. Don't know if the track is slowing down or if these guys haven't quite made the adjustments or Davis Fisher's that good. We'll find out when we get to the main event. But so far, Ryan Wells up front, dipped into the 22s, 22.9 on his last time by. Tries to stretch up the lead as Wilhelm runs into second.
Wilhelm goes by Bromley off of 4, takes over second. Now he's looking for the lead coming off of turn number 2. So Wilhelm's getting through the corners better than the other 2 riders.
We saw a little slip by our leader, Ryan Wells. Lost a little bit of momentum and and Wilhelm kept it going, and you see the difference in the
Wow.
passes.
Look at
Bromley
Bromley
runs
on the
it in
high
up
side.
high and up around the outside. He's certainly got something working good in 3 and 4.
Well, they're not scared to try the edge of the groove, as now Bronson Bauman moves up to the 5th spot. He says there's a heck of a battle up there for the lead. I want to get in there part of it. So is J.R. Addison's up to the 4th spot.
Yeah, nearly 3 wide coming off of turn 2 is Wilhelm trying to stretch a little bit of gap, flicks it a little sideways, scrubs a little bit of speed.
Maybe a
Bromley
little too much.
gets a good run up the outside, but Wilhelm gets it gathered up, and good drive off turn 4.
What a race we have. Wilhelm's holding up the pack right now as he got around and made it easy, but he's thrown in there a little bit too far sideways like you mentioned last time by. Now he's got a little bit of breathing room down the back chute.
Well, the thing I've noticed is no matter what he's doing, he's getting great drives off the corner. He may be flicking it a little bit going in, but he's getting the thing turned and getting it accelerating early. As Bromley, that lap by with 1 to go, runs up the outside through 3 and 4, closes the gap. But Wilhelm getting really good drives off turn 2.
Look at Bromley running the high line. Looks like it might be going away from him a little bit, but he's starting to track down the leader. It's Wilhelm. Last lap. Here comes Bromley in 2nd.
And Bauman moves up to 3rd as we see the 94B, our earlier leader, fading back to 5th, but going to the line around the outside. Bromley
Wow.
beats him to the line. Great turns 3 and 4. What a fantastic finish and a great last lap by Daniel Bromley.
Like you said just a second ago, he had something figured out down there in 3 and 4, and he made it work on the KTM. The only KTM in this heat race takes the win over a whole bunch of Hondas and 1 Yamaha. Bromley, your heat race winner, 54-8. Brandon Wilhelm 2nd. Bronson Bauman, originally from California, now lives in Illinois, comes up 3rd. J.R. Addison 4th, and Ryan Wells, who led most of the race, 5th. Dylan Bell 6th. Andrew Luker will be our 7th and final transfer, and those riders are going directly to the main event. Charlotte Canes is right there in the 9th spot. Hunter Edwards, Crowley, Helmholtz, and the rest of the field going to the last chance qualifier. Chris?
To win that race, Dan Bromley had to cut his fastest lap of the race on lap 8, or lap 6 to get the win. Congrats. We go take it down to Danny Medine.
All right, thanks. You guys have a very happy Dan Bromley down here. Take us through that last corner pass.
Oh, that last corner, I knew I couldn't let off. The gearing was a little off, but we're going to make a little changes, and we're going to get it ready for the main event.
Now you have a great team behind you. Who would you like to thank?
Oh, I can't thank my parents enough for all that they do for me. KTM North America, Triple J Racing, Steve Bromley, my uncle. He gets this motor running great, and all my other sponsors, I can't thank them enough.
Nice work. You're going on to the main event. We have GNC1 coming up right now, you guys. Scotty and Chris, back to you guys.
Thanks a lot, Danny. Dan Bromley, like you said, had the fastest lap of the race on the last one, made it to the front. Now we shift our attention to the Harley-Davidson GNC1 class presented by Vance Hines. On the pole is our fast qualifier, number 2, Kenny Coolbeth Jr. Starting 2nd, number 16, Wyatt McGuire. 3rd spot on the front row, 80, Stevie Bonzi. 4th, 17, Henry Wiles. Dominic Calendres on the Yamaha FZ07 will start 5th, 66Y. 27, Robbie Pearson. Let's go to row number 2. 14, Briar Bauman. 67, Colt Schaboltz. 93, Danny Kelch. 12, Jay Maloney. 69F, Ben Evans. 42K's Clint Erickson. And now, row number 3, we got one rider back there by himself, the 23Y of Ryan Foster. This is heat race number 1 for the GNC1 class. We have 10 laps of scheduled distance, top 4 directly to the main event, and top 2 riders will all go to the important Dash for Cash.
Well, and interesting to sit here and look at the lineup. You got the Zanatti Racing teammates of Kenny Coolbeth on the 2 and the 17 of Henry Wiles, up against the former Zanatti Racing rider, the number 80 of Steve Bonzi, who's riding for TCR, Tom Cummings Racing, here this weekend. So good to see a good competitive heat race. Not any bad blood here or anything, but certainly 3 guys with some history.
Absolutely. So the 14, Briar Bauman, is supposed to be on the inside of the 2nd row. He said, hey, I'm going to take the 3rd row instead. So he's starting up at the high side. That means he's going to try to run all the way high through 1 and 2, and he has his right to do that. The rest of the riders are getting anxious down there on the front straightaway. It's time for the GNC1 class. Sturgis, are you guys ready? I think they're ready. I'm ready.
I'm ready.
You got your riding gear, or you want to go put it on? Are you good?
No, I'm good. I'm looking forward to watching the number 2 here. He's been strong all day.
But the track has changed. He's running the bottom. We'll see if he's made some changes or if he's going to stick to the bottom. We'll see what happens.
That's right. That's why you get to watch.
That's why it's racing. We're going in just a second. Watch for the green light. Coolbeth on the inside on the 2. Robbie Pearson on the 27 on the high side. Here they come through the center. It's going to be the 66Y on the Yamaha. Dominic Calendres will lead here at Rapid City.
Dominic Calendres, the first time this power plant has led an AMA GNC competition. Let's see if he can make it all the way around and officially lead the lap in this heat race. The 27 of Robbie Pearson up around the outside. But Dominic Calendris gets a good run. Pearson up around the outside, beats him to the line.
Pearson will lead him into turn number 1. 27 is at the point. We met him in opening ceremonies. He was the Dunlop tire winner. Now in second spot, here comes the king of cool. Coolbeth takes over second, and he's bringing with him the 80 of Stevie Bonzi.
Well, we know Kenny Coolbeth's fast. He's running up the inside. He's kind of scoots it up a little bit in the middle of the corner, gets the thing kind of pivoting off. Not quite a good drive there off of turn 4. He's going to have to change that a little bit. But he certainly got through turns 1 and 2 real quick that first time around. They're on a lower part of the track that got a lot of moisture. It doesn't have any rubber in between the moisture and the dirt. So getting it through 1 and 2 a little bit differently than they do down here in 3 and 4.
And Kenny Coolbeth comes up the inside, takes the lead, drifts a little bit wide. He's going to still hang on to the lead off of 4. So it's Coolbeth, your new leader. Robbie Pearson back to second. In the third spot is still, I believe, Calendris still hanging on to the third spot. Now he's back to 4th.
Back to 4th with the 80 of Steve Bonzi on the TCR Harley up the inside. Good drive off of turn 2. The 27 of Pearson. Back up the inside. Kenny Coolbeth says, not so fast. I want to lead this heat race.
Bugs Pearson squares it off, drops in. He's trying to come off the line a little bit below him off of turn number 4. Doesn't make it happen. It's Coolbeth now. Pearson again in second. Bonzi's in the third spot. He's in hot pursuit. He wants to get in the top 2 spots and make that dash for cash. Calendris still hanging on to that 4th spot, number 66Y.
Well, since Kenny Coolbeth took over the lead back in turn 3 a lap ago, he put 6 bike links on Pearson. That was a real fast lap. Looking forward to seeing what kind of lap time he turns as he's running times identical the last time by. Best lap of 22.3 as of right now by the number 2 of Kenny Coolbeth. 22.1 last time by.
Fastest lap of the night.
Full 1.2 seconds quicker than qualifying. This track has picked up a lot of speed.
Battle for second place is getting tight. It's Pearson on the 27. Bonzi's right there in the third spot, number 80. Halfway flags came out just a few laps ago, so it's Bonzi in second. Bonzi looking for second right behind Bugs. Calendris still in the transfer spot on that Yamaha. Here comes Bonzi looking up the inside. Bugs and Bonzi. Bonzi up the inside one more time, see if he can make the pass. Bugs shuts the door.
Doesn't quite make it. It looks like Bonzi getting through turns 1 and 2 a little bit better. Pearson, good drive off of turn 4. The number 2, Kenny Coolbeth, checking out up front. This is important for these guys to kind of see if they can get in that second position. Gets them in the dash, gives them an additional look at a racetrack that's going to change a lot over the course of the night.
And puts him on the front row of the main event.
Puts him on the front row of the main event, certainly.
All right, so Coolbeth is checked out. Last time by was 1.4 seconds. Battle for second place. It's still Bugs Pearson on the 27.80. Stevie Bonzi. Laps are winding down here in our first GNC1 heat race. I was correct that they said Briar Bauman's on his 3rd different motorcycle. That's why he was on the penalty line. I thought it was because he wanted to start up there. We got a good battle for 4th place. Here comes Wyatt McGuire in the 16, trying to come through and take over 4th. That will be your last transfer.
We see up front, checking out there, the Kenny Coolbeth with the glowing orange rotors that he's been known for having here going around the racetrack. He rides the brake really hard through the middle of the corners. We actually see a little bit of smoke coming off the back of the number 2 as the battle for second place and the last position in the dash from this heat race appears to be going to the 27 of Robbie Pearson.
There's your heat race winner, number 2, Kenny Coolbeth. Second will be Pearson. Bonzi will take that 3rd spot. Here's your 4th spot, and it is Dominic Calendris making his 2nd GNC main event on that Yamaha. His first one was at the Lima Half Mile National, and now he will have, again, he'll have a national number because he already made 1 before, but now he's made 2 on that Babe to May tune, Memphis Shades Yamaha. So your transfers are this. Kenny Coolbeth takes the win by 2.2 seconds. Robbie Pearson will be 2nd. Stevie Bonzi 3rd. Dominic Calendris is your last transfer. Wyatt McGuire, Briar Bauman came from the 3rd row all the way up to 6th. Henry Wiles 7th. Danny Kelch 8th. Colt Shabolt's 9th. Ryan Foster 10th. Ben Evans 11th. Clint Erickson 12th. And Jay Maloney rounds out your field on the number 12 bike. So there's the man you picked to win right there is the 2, Kenny Coolbeth, and he looks good so far.
He does look good so far. That was a typical Kenny Coolbeth heat race right there. It took him a couple laps to kind of get things sorted out, but once he had it sorted out, he checked out. And that was a good run there by Kenny Coolbeth.
It was a great race between him and Robbie Pearson also for a little while until Coolbeth got the thing figured out, and he kind of just went away from him. Let's go trackside with Danny Medine.
Thanks, you guys. Kenny Coolbeth, you've had kind of a rough couple rounds. Is this where you're going to turn it all around?
I hope so. You know, it's this thing's running good. I was kind of worried because the track got so fast, and our setup's kind of off right now. So hopefully we get it set up and do what we just did.
Well, you got a little time because you have the Dash for Cash prior to the main event. What do you expect to accomplish out there?
Win. That's why I'm here. It's due to good people behind me, Harley-Davidson Motor Company, Zanatti Racing, Race, Mike Marsh. He helps us out pretty good, and so it's just a team effort, and it's good.
Awesome. Congratulations, Scotty and Chris. We have a very happy Kenny Coolbeth. Take it away.
All right, coming up next, GNC1 heat race number 2. Number 7, Slammin' Sammy Halbert will be on the pole from Graham, Washington. Jared Meese will be starting second, number 1. Doug Lawrence, number 73. 6 is Brad Baker. He'll be starting 4th. 5th on the front row is the 42 of Brian Smith. 91, Mikey Martin will be the last rider on the front row. Row number 2 is the 11 of Scott Baker. 49, Chad Coast. 90W, Wyatt Anderson. 25, Kevin Anderson. No relation between those two. 35S, Dalton Winkler. And the 28P, that's Michael Bickerton from Alexis, Illinois. Those are the riders scheduled for second heat race for the Harley-Davidson GNC1 class presented by Vance Hines. Just like the last race, Chris, top 2 to the Dash for Cash, top 4 all transfer directly to the main event. Everybody else goes to one of 2 semis.
Well, and we have the top 4 riders in GNC1 points in the same heat race here, with Jared Meese starting second, our point leader. Smith second in points, starting 5th. Halbert on the pole, and Baker 4th in points, starting 4th. I mean, 2 of these guys are going to the second row if they get 3rd and 4th.
Right.
2 are going to the front row into the Dash, and the Dash pays a point to win. So we could be seeing an upset apple cart here by the end of this one.
Clutches are in. Here we go. GNC1 heat race number 2, and they are off. Baker gets out of there in a hurry, but the front wheel comes up. Now Meese will lead him from the outside. Look at Mikey Martin trying to upset the apple cart, like you said, on the 91 bike.
Yeah, and Mikey Martin has been going pretty good today. Gets a good run up the inside. Meese out front. Those guys outside looking in. Halbert going to the very top, up around the outside of Brad Baker.
Wow.
Into the wet stuff, gets a good run, goes from about 5th to 3rd. I think we're going to see a lot more of that here in the next few laps.
Meese out front. Sammy Halbert again trying that high line. He's making it work. He's made his way all the way up to second. Mikey Martin's in the 3rd spot. Here comes Dougie Fresh. Doug Lawrence up to 4th on the 73 bike from Mississauga, Ontario, Canada. Goes very well here in Rapid City.
Yeah, the perennial Canadian champion Doug Lawrence likes these clay half miles. The Canadians have been known for their pea gravel prowess, but he's probably the best clay track rider out of Canada ever.
It looked like Doug Lawrence just about ran over the back wheel of Mikey Martin going into one. Looked like he was trying to carry more corner speed in. Wasn't expecting Mikey Martin to hit the brake so hard. Back up front. Here comes Sammy Halbert battling for the lead. Here he comes to the high side around the outside of Meese, and Meese is not so fast.
Yeah, Sammy seems to be getting into the corner. Up here on the very high line and down in turns 1 and 2, the track appears to be a little bit drier. And if you stay up there coming off a good drive up the inside by Halbert, he got that thing turned a little bit. Didn't quite get up into that dry, dusty stuff off the exit of turn 2. We'll see if he can check out.
Looked like I might have saw a spark or two as they went into turn number 3. It could be just the lighting was hitting something just right, but Halbert now at the lead. Meese in second. 3rd is Mikey Martin. 4th is Doug Lawrence. Those are our transfers if they'd finish up right now, but we're only 5 laps in as they come across the start-finish line. Halfway flags will be coming out next time by.
And right now, the 42 is Smith. Runs up the inside. He's 5th place right now, outside looking into a transfer. In the 6 of Baker, winner of the last two out of the last 3 races. Those guys are looking at a semi with halfway to go here.
I'm so surprised nobody's running the bottom of the racetrack like they were in qualifying, but they can carry more speed up high.
And we saw up front, Jared Meese back to the front with a move around Sammy Halbert. We here missed that one, but Meese went to school there for a couple laps on Halbert and learned a lesson.
Looks like Doug
Lawrence takes the lead.
Doug Lawrence goes around the outside of the 91, takes over that 3rd spot as they go into turn 1. There's 4 riders battling for 2 spots right there for 3rd and 4th. Here comes Brad Baker diving in on the number 6. Mikey Martin just about steps off the machine. Here comes Smith up to the 4th spot now in the bright green and black Kawasaki.
Yeah, Martin was running a solid 3rd there, finds himself in 5th now. Baker and Smith, the veteran riders and aggressive riders that they are, pouring the coals to it here late in this heat race to try and get a direct transfer to the final.
7 laps in the books. It looks like now Jared Meese is pulling away just a little bit. Sammy Halbert still in second. Doug Lawrence has a little bit of breathing room than his buddy. Brian Smith's right there. Mikey Martin now odd man out looking in, and Brad Baker is back in the 6th spot on the number 6 Harley. So Brad's trying to get things going the right direction. His brake rotor's already glowing red just like Kenny Coolbest was. So far it's only 2 we've seen doing it.
Yeah, only 2 riders really riding the brakes that hard, and I know Coolbeth has mastered that. Brad Baker, the last couple races that he's been dominating on, I don't think he used the brakes at all. I mean,
right.
Just flat checking out on everybody, the way those tracks are. But this is the type of track where you kind of get in there, but you got to get the wheels back in line. You got to get the weight transfer to the rear wheel, get that thing hooking up and moving forward. As Smith gets a run up the inside of Doug Lawrence coming off at turn 4 with 1 lap to go.
White flag is out. It's Jared Meese, Sammy Halbert, battle for 3rd. Doug Lawrence, Brian Smith. There is your leader going into turn number 3. It's still Meese. He's on cruise control right now. Last time I was 1.5 seconds, barely using his foot in the corners. It's super tacky, lots of traction. Meese is going to take the checkered flag and the win. Second will be Sammy Halbert on the 7. Those 2 are headed for the dash for cash. We'll wait till the rest of the riders come on across the start-finish lines. We're taking a look at Meese as he's already started his cool-down lap right now. So it's Meese, your winner, Sammy Halbert second. And the times are now updated. Brian Smith made it up to the 3rd spot on the 42. Doug Lawrence will be our last transfer on the 73 bike. Brad Baker is headed to a semifinal. He's taking Mikey Martin with him. Chad Coase worked his way up to 7th. Scott Baker 8th. Wyatt Anderson 9th. Dalton Winkler's first race back since Daytona on the 35S will be 10th. Kevin Anderson will be 11th, and Michael Bickerton rounds out your field. We had some good racing up front until with a couple laps to go. Looked like Jared Meese kind of found something and pulled ahead by a little over 2 seconds.
Yeah, went to school a little bit there on Halbert. Halbert got to the lead. That's why Jared's got the number 1 plate. When he gets passed by somebody, he goes to school on him, and he certainly learned a few lessons and paid huge dividends the second half of the race.
All right, let's go trackside with Danny Medines caught up with our heat race winner. Danny?
Thanks, you guys. Black Hills Speedway, make some noise for our current points leader, Jared Meese. What a great start to your night out here. Jared, we were talking before the race started tonight about how important the start is going to be and kind of what you're looking for. Will you tell us about your start here and what you're looking for?
Well, I put it in gear, and when the light turns green, I go. So, I've been really fortunate to be good off the starting line the last couple years. The motorcycles rip out of the hole, and, I just ran a really smooth race. Sammy got up there, and I went, okay, let's step it up. So we did, and we pulled away, and the motorcycle's really good. Sammy Sweet, Kenny Tolbert, their resume speaks for themselves.
Now, as the current points leader, what's it going to take to keep in that position tonight?
Well, this is a Kenny Coolbeth type of racetrack, and it's also type of my racetrack too. So I think it's going to be a pretty good battle between him and I. He's going really good. So, good starts like that, and just running my own race.
Congratulations on the heat win. Scotty and Chris, back to you guys.
Good job. Nice heat race for Jared Meese. Let's go up next will be heat race number 3. This is the final heat race of the night. Up next will be our board trackers coming up. On the pole is our Rookie of the Year leader. That is the number 17F, Jared Vanderkoy from Mount Gilead, Ohio. 15, the racing lady, Nicole Meese. She's doing it on the Black Hills Harley-Davidson. 23, Jeffrey Carver. 29, Jake Mattia. Good qualifying effort from him. 96, Cody Johncox. And the 44, Brandon Robinson. That's your front row. Row number 2, 55, Jake Shoemaker. 89, Evan Bear. 21, Duke Erickson. 46, Aaron Linfords. 52, Shayna Texter. The 12K, Michael Strabel in his first GNC1 main event on the Twin, and that is on the Kawasaki EX650. Also, since Evan Bear's out there, Sean Bear said he wasn't able to make it out here. He's healed. He's pretty healthy. Bike was destroyed, so he's looking to be back out there maybe around Charlotte time.
Well, it'd be looking forward to seeing Sean come back after that horrific crash at the Indy Mile. We wish him the best of luck getting back out here. See if his little brother can represent the family name tonight.
Here we go. GNC1 heat race number 3. Top 2 to the dash. Top 4 to the Grand National main event. Watch for the light. There's 1 red light, 2 yellow lights, and it is green in a hurry. Kawasaki's from the inside. No, it's going to be Jake Mattia to lead him into turn number 1 on the National number 29. Here comes the racing lady number 15, Nicole Meese, up the inside. Nicole's going to try to lead him down the back straightaway.
Good drive off of turn 2 for Nicole. Takes it up to the lead. Knocks the thing up into high gear. She ran 3rd gear accelerated all the way down the back straightaway and picked up high gear coming down the back.
She got a little sideways coming off before, so Mattia goes back around. Now she's got some head shake, so Mattia goes to the lead into turn number 1. It's Jake Mattia, the big number 29. He's on a brand new ride. He's rode it a couple times this year, and he's got some help from Scott Power Sports and from McGrain Racing. Here comes Van der Kooi.
Van der Kooi up the inside, as you see the 44, Brandon Robinson on the latest Motorsports Triumph, moving up, contending for the lead, coming off of turn 4, takes the lead, goes from 3rd to 1st in turns 3 and 4. We got a Triumph leading this heat race.
Here comes Nicole Meese back up the inside underneath our Rookie of the Year leader, and now she's looking for the lead. It's Robinson on the 44, Nicole Meese on the 15. Jared Van der Kooi's there, and so is Jake Mattia. 4-way battle for the lead.
He's top 4, trying to stretch it out a little bit. Back in 5th by himself, 55, Jacob Shoemaker on the Bonneville Performance Triumph, trying to get up here and get in the mix and get himself a spot in the main event.
Robinson looking very strong out there on that latest Motorsports Triumph Bonneville. Same pretty smooth. Now Van der Kooi's putting a charge on. Here comes Mattia as Nicole reaches out with her right foot. Was she trying to shift the thing again?
Not quite sure what was going on there, but she slowed way down. Looks like she's had an issue with her ride there. That might have been a way of saying, hey, I got a problem here, and telling the guys behind her, but that thing came to slow down in a hurry.
Yeah, she knew something was going on because she threw her foot out down the back straightaway, probably pulled in the clutch down the back straightaway also. So now that puts Shoemaker into the 4th spot. So we got 2 Triumphs on the racetrack, 1st and 4th on the racetrack as they run.
Yeah, Brandon Robinson cutting some pretty good lap times. As halfway goes by, he stretches out maybe another bike link over to the Kawasaki and Rookie of the Year candidate Jared Van der Kooi. This is a comfortable spot for Brandon Robinson. He did this when he was on Kawasaki's a couple years ago. This is his 1st year on the Triumph. First real clay track that they've had a chance to ride this year, as they got rained out in Hagerstown. So far, so good for the latest motorsports team.
And look at the 3rd place rider. Jake Mattia is putting on a charge back there on the number 29. He's trying to catch up there. Again, he just got that ride not too long ago. Scott Power Sports Kawasaki said it revs up so much different than a Harley, so he's getting more and more familiar with that bike. It's a huge change going from a Harley to these Kawasaki's.
It certainly is. And he's always been a real good rider. Jake Mattia has. He's from the Minnesota area. This is the closest national probably to his hometown, so he's looking forward to having some good results tonight, and so far so good on that front.
Lap number 7 in the books right now. It's Robinson out front, Van der Kooi in 2nd, and 3rd spot Jake Mattia. Top 3 broke away. 4th right now is the other Don's Kawasaki DPC entry, the 23. Jeffrey Carver now has put himself into that 4th spot, so both the Don's DPC Kawasaki's are 2nd and 4th in this one.
Yeah, doing well. We got 2 Triumphs out here, and we got 2 DPC Kawasaki riders. So team against team out here, and you got Jake Mattia in the middle of it. So good run up front for our leader on the Triumph. This is the best I've seen this thing work all year long. Good lap times, high 22s, low 23s. I think we're starting to see a little bit of the speed in the racetrack go away a little bit as a little bit of the rubber gets laid down, and some of the moisture kind of evaporates a little bit as these guys go around every lap.
White flag is out. This is it. Here comes a battle for 2nd place. Mattia is not giving up. He wants to make that dash. He's trying to go around the outside of Van der Kooi. Here they come off of 4. It's going to be Robinson to take the win. Who's going to get 2nd? Race to the line. A couple of Kawasaki's. We'll wait and see when the live timing and scoring updates. And here we go. So Brandon Robinson takes the win, ladies and gentlemen, on a Triumph here at the Black Hills Harley, presented by Dunlop Tires Grand National. Robinson, your winner on the 44. 2nd, Jared Van der Kooi, just barely by 0.005 seconds. Mattia will get that 3rd spot, number 29. Jeffrey Carver will be 4th on the Don's Kawasaki DPC entry. Those are your transfers. Cody Johncox, Jake Shoemaker, Michael Strabel, Shayna Texter, Aaron Linfords, Duke Erickson, Evan Bear had a mechanical issue, as well as Nicole Meese. So her heat race ended early. She's probably going to have to go to a backup motorcycle, and she'll come back in a semifinal. Chris?
A great run from Robinson. He wasn't all that spectacular in qualifying, barely made it to the front row. His lap times improved dramatically. Maybe a little bit of the moisture in the racetrack helped his cause a little bit. But what a turnaround from just squeaking onto the front row to top of the podium, winning his heat race. Great run by Brandon Robinson on the Castrol latest Motorsports Triumph.
We'll give him just a second. Take off the helmet. Coming up next will be our board trackers, a special added class here tonight, and then we're going to have a short intermission break. So that's what's coming up in the immediate future. Now I bet it looks like Brandon Robinson's just about ready to go. So let's go down trackside once again with Danny Medine, who's caught up with our heat race winner. Danny?
Thanks, you guys. Brandon Robbins, we've had a tough couple rounds with the Triumphs back up on the podium. You've got to be pretty happy right now.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy. We kind of struggled in qualifying there, had an A bike kind of break on us, and we were struggling. We were 16th fastest, so we just made improvements. And my tuner, Brent Armbruster, was working awesome, and he just fixed this thing, made it work good, and just thanks to my entire team, the Lattice Motors Castrol Triumph.
Well, hey, you're going on to the Dash for Cash in the main event. Congratulations on the win. Scotty and Chris, back to you guys.
Thanks a lot, Danny. Coming up next, again, will be our board track class. The rules are the teen years through the 1928s. I'm talking about 1900 teen years. It's the 20th Century Racing presents a 1920s Class A board track era racing exhibition featuring antique motorcycle racer Miss Brittany Olsen. Have you seen these things before?
I have not seen these particular bikes. I did at Broken Spoke. They had Billy Lane from Choppers Inc. out there, had a 1910 Harley-Davidson board tracker that he was riding around Broken Spoke Campground. These things are really, really cool.
This is an extra special feature here tonight, so no brakes, rolling starts, no transmission. They've got no transmission, gearbox, or clutch. The wheels and tires are 28 by 2 1/4 ribbed racing tires on clincher rims, 28 by 3 tires on these clincher rims. Handlebars must be dropped below the horizontal plane of the motorcycle to compete in this class. Again, they have to have a rolling start because there's no clutch. The riders on the track, number 13 is Brittany Olsen from Aberdeen, South Dakota. 33 is Jim Wall, Inglewood, Colorado. The 21X, Mike Lang from Big Bend, Wisconsin. 58 is Chris Thompson from Lincoln, Nebraska. From number 74, Corey Postonic is from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 26 is Kurt Mertens from Colby, Wisconsin. And the 23, that's Johnny Mertens from Tripoli, Wisconsin. We got 1921 Harley, a 1924 Harley, a 26, a 1928 Indian Chief, and a 1923 Harley-Davidson J model. They're getting into a rolling start. We'll see a green flag here pretty soon. Again, they got to keep it. We lost one on the back straightaway.
Not surprised there. I mean, just keeping these things running, much less trying to run them around a half-mile dirt track.
Well, it looks like
impressive.
Looks like only 4 of them went out there, so maybe they're going to do 2 qualifying heat races. I thought we just had 1 heat race, or maybe there's just only 4 of them showed up. I had an entry list with several riders, so they're getting lined up, and then we're going to go racing. What do you guys think of the board track class? No brakes, man. They're crazy. That's the way the sport started, though.
I'm just kind of at a loss for words. I mean, it's hard for me to fathom a lot of this. But
no brakes. There's a rolling start, so we'll be looking for the green flag. Hopefully coming around. There's 3. They're going 3 wide to get to this green flag start. Here they come.
The person in fourth needs to get with the program. He's falling behind in a hurry.
Well, the green flag is out. They go into turn number 1. Oh!
Oh!
We lose one going into turn number 1. Red flag's going to fly. Board tracker's getting a little crazy early into this program.
That's unfortunate to see that. We didn't want to see that on an exhibition.
Absolutely not. We had 4 riders out there. I had several different ones entered here in this one. Not even sure which number that was that just went down. So the little extra special feature didn't end the way we wanted it to, or didn't get going the way we wanted it to.
No, certainly not. Hopefully rider is okay. Machines are repairable.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that was a vicious little get-together there, and he did a lot of tumbling.
Got right into the back tire of the rider in front of him. Looked like went for a high side. Again, there's no brakes. There's no way to slam on the brakes and slow down right there. So, I don't know, it might be a few moments, ladies and gentlemen. It might be a good time to grab something to eat or drink. I'm not sure what's going to happen right now. We'll have to get our down rider checked out. Hopefully everything is all right down there. Again, this is the board tracker class. Their 1920s Class A board track era racing exhibition class featuring antique motorcycles and racer Miss Brittany Olsen. So that's what's happening right now. We're going to give them just a second to get our down rider checked out. Also, I found out just a few moments ago from Ryan Jones that Glenn Scott has put up an extra $500 added to the Dash for Cash to be dispersed however they feel needy or how they feel needed. So that's pretty cool. A little extra money going up in the Dash for Cash. The rest of the races look like this, ladies and gentlemen. After this one, we're going to have a scheduled intermission, and it's only about 5 minutes. We'll come back from that with a GNC2 last chance qualifier. Our GNC1 Dash for Cash 2 GNC semifinals. So get our down rider checked out. I believe we're going to step off here for just a second. Let the paramedics do their job. Good time to stretch your legs, visit with your friends. We'll be right back. For more than 100 years, racing has been the heart and soul of Harley-Davidson Motor Company. Generations of champions have worn the orange and black and ridden our legendary motorcycles to countless winner's circles. And their spirit of victory and passion for excellence lives today in every motorcycle we build. Visit your local Harley-Davidson dealer to witness the evolution of a legend for yourself. Dunlop is the official tire of AMA Pro Flat Track Racing. We make tires in America for racing and street riding, such as our Dunlop American Elite that gives Harley-Davidson riders high mileage at great handling. Please check out the new line of merchandise at the official AMA Pro Flat Track trailer. 2015 brings new products from t-shirts, hoodies, koozies, and more. The official AMA Pro Flat Track team has special deals each week, so please stop by and check us out. Dunlop is proud to be the official tire of AMA Pro Flat Track Racing. No other tire company has won more AMA championships than Dunlop. And what we learn from racing is rolled into our street tires such as Dunlop American Elite that give Harley-Davidson riders high mileage and great handling. Kimco USA, the official sponsor of AMA Pro Flat Track, performance without the high price. Watch for the Kimco scooters and side-by-sides around the track. From 50 cc's to 700 cc's, Kimco scooters, ATVs, and side-by-sides are always the choice for the highest quality at an exceptional value. Get more fun and style than you bargained for. Check out the complete line of Kimco scooters, ATVs, and side-by-sides at KimcoUSA.com. Kimco, choose your path. Dunlop is proud to be the official tire of AMA Pro Flat Track Racing. No other tire company has won more AMA championships than Dunlop. And what we learn from the racing is rolled into our street tires such as the Dunlop American Elite with multi-tread technology for high mileage and great handling. Ride Dunlop. All right, race fans, we're getting our down rider checked out over there in turn number 1. So at this time, it is our scheduled intermission break right now. So if you guys want to take a short break, grab something to eat or something to drink, the rider is sitting up right now. I believe they're going to put him in the ambulance for some observation. So this is our scheduled intermission. It's going to be about 5 minutes, maybe at the most, and we'll come right back with our GNC2 Last Chance Qualifier, Dash for Cash, and our 2 GNC1 semifinals. It's time for our first scheduled intermission. We'll be back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, good news is I can see on our camera view, he is on his feet. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together for one of our board track riders going down hard in turn number 1. And I believe we're going to take a look at the replay for you fans watching at fanschoice.tv. Let's see what happened here in just a second. So again, our down riders checked out. Thought he's going to have some help from the class of 79 and friends who raised money to help our down riders. So we wish they were here to help them out. But let's take a look at the replay right now for you folks watching at fanschoice.tv. It's the rider coming in on the in the third spot. Here he comes up the inside, and he just went straight into the back wheel and threw it down. And he goes face first in there. That's a typical high side right there, Chris. Didn't look like very much fun.
Well, that was a classic example, a little bit of target fixation. We had a rider come around the outside, kind of caught him off guard, and he looked at him. And as soon as he looked at him, he steered straight into the back of him over the high side.
It's just like when you're trail riding, you look at a tree, you're going to run into that tree, right?
Yeah, you definitely going to hit what you're looking at. These guys need to be looking a little bit further ahead. Glad to see he's walking off, albeit with a little bit of assistance. The Levi's took a hammering on that one.
Well, Maybe he'll wear race pants next time.
Yeah, I think he had some chaps on there too.
Okay.
There's not much left of them.
Okay, they went for a ride. They're going to leave those over there in turn number 1. So again, this is our scheduled intermission break right now. When we come back in just a few moments, we're going to have the GNC2 Last Chance Qualifier coming up. They're staging up over there on the outside. They've been shooting some free T-shirts for the folks there that are here live in Rapid City, the 75th Annual Sturgis Half Mile. So we're going to step off here again, put some music on. We'll be back when that track's ready to go. This is our first intermission break. We'll be back. All right, we're coming back here. Rapid City, Black Hills, half mile. Looks like some of the board trackers are already fired up down there in the infield. Takes a little while to get those things wound back up. Someone's got to pull them, some got to push them. And, man, I'm just, I don't know if I'm tough enough to ride one of those things.
Well, you know, we're taking a look at history, and these people have certainly put a lot of heart into making these things run, preserving that history. So despite our little incident earlier, we got to be thankful that we're getting a chance to witness the way it was back when racing basically began in a lot of ways. So hats off to these folks for preserving flat track and being able to showcase it to the future, because we all got to come from somewhere.
That's right. So again, this class is the board track class. The rules are the teen years through the 1928 motorcycles, no brakes, rolling starts with no transmissions, no gearbox, and no clutch. The wheels and tires are 28 by 2 1/4 ribbed racing tires on clincher rims that are 28 by 3-inch tires on clincher rims, or 21 by 3 Avon style ribbon speed master tires on 21-inch drop center ribs. That's all some of the rules I'm reading off of here. Button tread or non-skid clincher tires can also be used. The handlebars, this is what I found was interesting. The handlebars must drop below the horizontal plane of the motorcycle. This is how flat track racing started on board tracks, and they made their transition into dirt. They ran for several years without brakes. They thought if you had brakes on, then somebody'd run into the back of you, because if there's no brakes, then you're all pretty much going the same speed.
Well, they proved that theory didn't work in the first lap there. So
somebody let off a little too soon.
Yeah, somebody let off a little soon. Somebody zigging, the other one was zagging, and that happens. It says we got the green flag. These guys are going to go for 3 laps, I believe.
The 13 is out front. That is Brittany Olson from Aberdeen, South Dakota. That's a 1923 Harley-Davidson J model, 68 cubic inch motor, 1100 cc.
That thing's not big enough to have 1100 cc's, is it?
It doesn't look like, but that's what it says.
Wow.
I'm glad I'm not riding. I can't see a number plate on the second place rider, but just went around the outside. New leader in turn 3 and 4. A little puff of smoke as they get back on the throttle.
A little puff of smoke. She gets a good run up off of turn 4, gets her momentum going. She goes, all right, you want to race? I'll race.
They're going at it into turn number 1 at 13.
I think the number plate got knocked off. It's on 33 there on the front axle.
That is Jim Wall. So we got Jim Wall out there battling with Brittany Olson. This is their main event, ladies and gentlemen. So they're racing. There's only 2 of them left. They're coming off of turn number 3 and 4.
You think they've decided who's going to win?
I don't know.
Are we going to have a photo finish?
I don't know.
As they accelerate, white flag.
White flag is out.
1 lap to go.
The 33 looks like he's got more motor, but he's running the higher line, trying to keep more momentum like we were talking about earlier. Brittany Olson down there on the bottom, Jim Wall on the outside. The board trackers, the 20th Century Racing board trackers also compete at the Dairyland Vintage National on August the 29th up there in Wisconsin. So if you like this stuff, there's only 2 of them out here. One of them went down and one of them had a scratch, but we had several of them on the entry form. But
well, in this class here, it looks like the low line works just as good as the high line.
Perfect.
You know, they've been pretty close.
There's the checker
all the way
flag.
around.
It's going to be, look at her twist the throttle. Brittany Olson takes the win on the 13 bike. That was Brittany Olson from Aberdeen, South Dakota on the 1923 Harley, and second place will be the 1928 Indian Chief of Jim Wall, number 33 from Englewood, Colorado. Now it's time to get back to the GNC racing action. This is GNC2 coming up next.
GNC2 LCQ as we watch the board trackers. You know, I think the girl took it easy on the guys in that one.
I heard it takes like 25 to 30,000 invested in these things. Brittany Olson will take the win on the number 13. She is our board track class winner. So if you liked what you saw, let them hear you. I think they're done for the night. I don't know where she's trying to get the thing slowed down. Remember, there's no brakes, so she's taking. Oh, she's going to victory podium. She
might as well.
She knows where that podium is. She's watched all these other racers do it, so she's going up there to meet Danny Medine. Again, it's Brittany Olson is our winner, and see if she likes our victory podium up there.
There you go. As it runs out just a little bit short, pushing it to
she doesn't have no brakes. She doesn't want to go off the end, you know.
Well, there is a little clamp up there.
Well, I know, but you want to stop there and go over the handlebars? All right, give her just a second to take her helmet off.
Gotta love a racer with pigtails.
Pigtails.
Out there showing the boys their way around.
She's got her Liat brace on, her safety gear, taking her gloves off. Here comes the helmet. We're going to go trackside in just a second with our board track winner here tonight. Let's go trackside with Danny Medine.
All right, thanks, you guys. What did you think about that, race fans? Now, Brittany, you were just telling me that you have some experience in flat track, but what's it like to take a bike like this out on a track like this?
Oh my gosh, you guys do amazing with this track. It is such an honor to be out here. Anyways, yeah, so it's amazing. Our bikes stick really good, and I'm so sad to see a rider go down, especially on an old bike, because it's got to hurt. You know, we have no brakes, no clutch, no transmission, and our bikes are rigid, as rigid can be. So it's got to hurt.
Well, you did an awesome job. Thank you for coming on and giving us a great experience of board track racing. This is history in the making, and it's so cool to see something like this. You guys give it up one more time for Brittany. Scotty and Chris, I thought that was pretty cool. What about you guys?
That was pretty cool. Brittany Olson takes the win from Aberdeen, South Dakota. Coming up next will be our GNC2 last chance qualifier. They're firing up the engines over there in the staging area. And now it is go time for these riders. The GNC2 last chance qualifier